Pucknology After Dark is sponsored by Audible. We've partnered with them to offer a free 30-day trial. You can choose from over 180,000 audiobooks and get a free audiobook to keep whether you choose to continue using the service or not. Go to audibletrial.com/PAD to sign up. You get a free book, you help support the show, everybody wins! Everybody wins. That's audibletrial.com/PAD.
Be nice. Let's get Eric some new internet.
You're tuned into Technology After Dark, although it's after dark and we're after a loss, and because Brody's decided to take a night off, we are your only post-game show tonight. Yes, that's right. Welcome on in. I am Puckguy14 on Twitter, otherwise known as Eric. I'll be joined by my constituents in just a second. But of course, we're here for you no matter what, through after every game. We are with you the whole way through this journey, and we're glad to have you with us. This is our post-game show where you have your voice, and you can just, there we go, join the conversation using the hashtag PucknologyAD on Twitter. You can join us in the YouTube chat or on the app itself, and you can follow us at the Twitter handles below. But first, let's introduce the people to those Twitter handles. First off, from beautiful San Diego, America's finest city, we'll say hello to Eric Landy.
That was fun.
Fun meaning that we blew a 1-0 lead and had a poopy second period. Sure. And checking us in as well, the person behind underscore Wingles. Respect the underscore. It's the lovely and talented Nikki Marawelli. How are you, my dear?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, it would be good if the Sharks would have won the freaking game. But
Yeah, well, I've let it go. It's just kind of there.
we'll get this thing going right here, and we'll say this. First off, it has all the makings of a That's So Sharks game. I mean, we'll hit these right off the bat. First off, congratulations, Lawson Krause, the guy who I thought we might be picking in the 2015 NHL draft. You scored your first NHL goal, and gracious thanks to Uncle Darren Stevens at Sharks Stats on Twitter. We now know that he is the 93rd player to score his first NHL goal against your San Jose Sharks.
Thank you, Uncle Darren.
That is the most ridiculous number I've ever heard in my life. 93? Like, Sharks, what are you doing? Is it really your first NHL goal if you didn't score against the Sharks? I don't think it is.
Well,
I don't think it is.
We gotta remember the years of mediocrity that this team had. You know, I mean, the very early days. So they got probably the bulk of those then.
Yeah, but we're getting a little too many now.
That's true. What is it?
A little more than I would like. That's what, like the third?
Yeah, it's either the third or fourth, if I recall.
Yeah, I think so. We're at number 4 this year.
Yeah, I think we're at number 4. Jimmy VC, this guy, and I think 2 others.
Yeah.
To which AJ says in the chat, "Strom, you lazy bastard."
yeah. There had to be at least 2 tonight. Come on now.
Right.
God, Dylan, get it together. By the way, Dylan Strom, I'm willing to adopt you if you're listening. Come to San Jose. Let me love you. Okay. Anyways, keep going.
Wait. No, hold up. Wait a minute. Are we trading Tommy in for Dylan Strom?
No, never. Never. Dylan Strom, I don't love you that much.
Wow. Oh, wow. Jeez.
I know. What can I say?
Prop him up and bring him back down.
I did. I kind of brought him up a little too high. I had to bring him down a few notches. That's why.
But see, my crush was always on Mitch Marner. That's my crush. Mitch Marner.
Mitch Marner. Yeah. Mitch Marner. Good old Mitch Marner.
You're bringing some. You're pumping some guy up and then you bring him down. I'm sorry. That's like icing on the power play, which is never good.
No, it's never a good thing.
Never
Remember,
a
never a
good
good
thing.
thing.
No,
Yes.
I loved the attempt at a mustache that Dylan Strom had. Did you see it?
Yeah,
It
that was
was
pretty
like
bad.
Hey,
it looks like Logan when he tries to grow something out, except like sadder. Like I could hear it from like through the TV going womp womp womp. Like it was
oh,
just so sad. Like I was like, my 12-year-old brother can grow a better mustache than you can, Dylan Strom. I'm sorry.
ouch.
Ooh.
Damn.
I'm really feeling it tonight, you guys. The insults are gonna be flying.
This might be an extra salty edition of Pucknology After
Extra
Dark,
salt.
and we only got through
Extra
one
salt.
part so far. Far. Let's be real here. So the other thing, of course, is backup goalie alert. Backup goalie alert. Louis Domingue, who I guess the Coyotes fans are transplanted from Vancouver. I didn't do it, so don't say I did. Uh, Putting up a phenomenal night on there. He had a total of 39 saves on 41 shots.
Good for
Of
a
course he did.
951 save
Yeah,
percentage.
I mean, 40. Let's give the Sharks credit. 41 shots on goal. They're getting chances on net. I think they had a little bit more that could have been wide. But Nikki, it almost looked like to me that the Coyotes were really clogging the front of the net too at the same time, and making sure even more chances were getting in the way.
Well, I think they finally realized after how many years of playing us that most of our chances come from in front of the net. Like we have people like Joe Pavelski who get in front of the net, and that's especially Joe Pavelski. That's where he's going to be most successful because he gets into those dirty areas and he's starting to teach like Hurdle. I've seen Hurdle go to the front of the net a lot this year. So I think they've finally understood that that's how we get most of our goals, and I think they took advantage of us, definitely, 100%.
I think the other thing too that we really have to give credit to Arizona. I mean, and I hate to say this, but they really suppressed the interior shots tonight, and it looked like the Sharks really relied on those blue line to blue
Mm-hmm.
line passes to blue line shots. I think they were too reliant upon them, and you were just seeing Burns get it out at the point, Burns get it out at the point, Schlemko getting out at the point, Dylan getting it out at the point. And it just like it got to the point where it was formulaic, that the Coyotes knew it was going to be kicked out to the point, and then they were going to knew that they were going to try and tip it in. Just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a lot of net front presence tonight.
No, I totally agree. I agree 100%. And big props to the Coyotes. They took advantage of the weaknesses and they got it done.
And just kind of going over weaknesses tonight. I mean, we take a look at the defense core and Mark Edward Vlasic with an uncharacteristic 4 giveaways tonight.
Wow.
4. Yeah. We take a look at the forwards. The forward with the most giveaways was Joel Ward. But yeah, that defense core looked like it was getting hemmed in its own zone because of poor passing and because of poor D-to-D passing in the defensive zone. So, a lot of these things that, a lot of these issues that the Sharks had are just kind of self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah. Well, could anybody else tell that Paul Martin has the flu? Because I
Oh,
totally could.
yeah, he looked a step slow. I mean, I think the team in general after that first period just kind of lost gas. I mean, they
Yeah.
they were really. I mean, they had turned it on. They dominated that first period. I mean, it didn't even. It would look like boys against men. And then in the second period, I don't know what the hell happened. If somebody slipped them some downers or something, but you could just see that the energy level just flatlined.
Yeah, which I don't quite understand considering they went into the first intermission with the lead. So usually that's going to give you, I don't know, like more energy, but it just looked like tonight they came out on the ice for that second period and they just flatlined.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the other thing that's kind of interesting, and I kind of blame it on you, Randy Hahn, if you're listening. He was saying that the Sharks were undefeated going into the second period with a lead, and this
You
was the
jinxed it.
yeah, he jinxed it. He jinxed it.
Oh, he had a little bit of a Jinxie McJinxter moment there. He also mentioned that Louis Domingue had not beaten the Sharks. I think he was 0-3 in 3 games going up against the Sharks. So,
So thanks a
uh,
lot, Randy Hahn. We still love you, but thanks a lot, Randy.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. By the way,
Normally it's Baker who you can really rely on for those jinx because it's like whenever Baker lays in those tidbits like oh I think that this call is going to be overturned, it's like it's always the opposite of what he
Oh yeah,
thinks.
Jamie Baker's the biggest jinx ever. I'm like, Baker, just shh. Don't
Yeah,
talk. Don't
exactly.
talk.
Yeah,
oh, Bakes, we love you though. I would assume since most of them are already off the air. Hi, Randy. Thank you for favoring the tweet earlier today. We really appreciate it. Um, the other thing, of course, that would be that so sharks is we had a teaser goal.
yeah,
Now, if you follow the Sharks many years, or if you're new to it, we'll explain it to you. What happens is the Sharks will be down in a game, and then they'll like either in middle or late in the game get that one goal to pull within one. You have that teaser goal, like say, "Oh, there's the hope! There's the hope! Oh gosh, yes,
and then they
yes!"
just
And then
snatch
they
it.
just don't like no, why did you get my hopes up? It's like you actually finally giving the note to your crush in middle school
Right.
and having her hit yes or no, and she never took it before, but now she's finally taking it, and then you get it back, and you're like, oh, this could be it. This could be it. Oh, come on!
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Yeah, it's like when you ask that girl to prom and she's like, "Okay, maybe." And then the night before she's like, "Oh yeah, you know what? Like this is going to be really fun." And then the day that you show up in your tux and you're all looking pretty, she's already gone in the limo with the other guy that you didn't see coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, Bodker in his essentially his homecoming game. I mean, albeit he was traded to Colorado at the deadline. Um, nice late goal to try to pull within one,
But a
but
little too late.
yeah, 10 seconds. If that
10
happened with
seconds really doesn't give you much time.
No. No, and you know what? I think the in addition, I think that Bodker is still trying to find his way on that line. I think he's just so he wants to defer so much to Pavelski. He's
Hmm.
not taking the shots that he should be taking. You saw his speed on display a little bit tonight, and you saw him take a couple of good shots when he was in alone and brought the puck in the zone alone. But he still wants to defer back to Pavelski if Pavelski's sitting in there for a one timer in the slot and he's just not taking the higher percentage play where he should just put the goal or the puck on net. Instead, he wants to get it out to Pavelski or back to Thornton, and so it's going to take some time.
But I'm not trying to make excuses for Bodker. He did play in the World Cup. He did miss all of training camp. So I'm giving him a little bit of leeway. I want to give him maybe a few more games to really find himself, especially being on a new team. He's not going to,
yeah,
as much as we would all like him to click right away, it's just not realistically going to happen. So I'm giving him a few more games to really kind of prove himself to me. Yes, he is so fast. He obviously showed us all that tonight. He was flying up and down the ice. But as far as trying to defer to Pavelski, I feel like he thinks it might, I don't know what he thinks. It might be a better look, or I don't know what he's doing. But Bodker, if you are listening to me, if you have an open lane, shoot the puck. Thank you. It's
Yeah,
really not that difficult, you guys. It's not. It's really not that hard.
yeah, yeah. I you know. Like I think what we've kind of just reiterated. I think he's just going to take some time. I I kind of like him a little bit better with Couture and with Donskoy myself because I think he gives a little bit more speed to that line. I mean, I understand the reasoning why you put him up there because you're trying to offset the Joe's kind of slowness, both of them. But I also like Hurdle up there because it gives him a little bit bigger of a body presence on those wings. I
Mhm.
mean, I liked Hurdle's game tonight. I like that third line. I think that they played the best out of all the lines
Hurdle
tonight.
got robbed by Deming. That one save by was just like
Yeah,
you could even you saw Hurdle's face. They showed Hurdle's face and he was just like, oh, like you knew if he had just gotten a little more on it, he would have
yeah,
scored.
yeah.
So
or even the Dylan shot. I feel for Brendan because he looks like he is like dying to get his first goal of the year, and he had some glorious chances the last two games, and he gets denied by Deming late in the second period, and he's like, what the hell do I have to do?
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
fair, Brendan Dillon has to do a lot. Okay.
yeah.
That's true, but I mean, he's let's give him credit. You know how Martin was the Burns whisperer. I think Schlemko's kind of been
The Dillon
the
Whisperer.
Dylan whisperer. I think he's played defensively a lot better um, compared to with Roman Polak.
Oh
And
God, that was
no, I mean, seriously, I think he's done a lot better with Schlemko, and it's just a matter of time. So.
mhm.
Yeah, I mean, you look tonight. You look at the ice time distributions for the back end. I mean, Schlemko comes in second among defensemen, only second to Brent Burns. I mean, Brent Burns plays 26 minutes tonight, and Schlemko comes in at 21 minutes. I mean, that's a pretty big disparage between the two, but or disparity between the two. But Schlemko leads the rest of the troops in the time on ice besides Burns. I mean, Vlasic had 18:30, Braun had 17, and then Dylan comes in with 16:34 tonight. I think I don't know. I like Schlemko's game. I still feel like he does make some high risk, high reward plays that comes with being an offensive defenseman, and it still kind of bothers me a little bit. But I think he's definitely able to skate himself out of trouble versus Polak, who just was like, if he made a mistake, that's it. I mean, it's going to be hammed in there for a good, solid couple of minutes.
Yeah. No, and I definitely like what Schlemko has brought to this team. You can just tell the defensive core. I don't get nervous when I see like Dylan Allen. I mean, I kind of do, but like I know that Schlemko is always going to kind of be there to bail. I don't want to say bail Dylan out, but I don't get nervous anymore. Like I'm not always like, "Oh, okay, I want Vlasic and Braun out there." I'm like, "You know what? Send whichever one out." I don't it doesn't bother me anymore like it did last year when like you would look at the Stanley Cup Finals and there's Dylan and Pollock and you're like, oh Jesus, help me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Oh, go ahead, Landy.
I was just gonna say there's some comments in the chat about bringing up Timo and kind of reshuffling some of the lines and stuff. I mean, we all know Timo's just getting back from his mono. He's played a few games. He's looked okay, not the greatest. I think the other consensus, though, is that LeBanc should be getting a shot here soon. Before you bring any of the kids up, you gotta take Haley out. I
Yeah,
think I think it's
100%.
I think it's time. I think the Haley run has kind of come to a halt right now. I mean, you can always insert him back when the team needs that extra punch. But I think that right now, I think Nieto's skill is being missed on that bottom line. I think Tierney can only do so much to make those two wingers look good. He's going to need some speed and some skill, and I think I like Nieto a little bit more. Even in tonight's game, I think I would have rather played Nieto than Haley.
And I feel like Haley is really only valuable, not valuable, but he's really only there when we play teams like the Kings, like those hard hitting teams
Right.
that you know is going to bring everything that night. So the Michael Haley experiment for me, I'm done with it. I'm over it. Let's get Nieto back in here because we have a long road trip coming up. I was looking at the schedule, and after these next two home games, we're on the road for 2 weeks. And Michael Haley, I'm done with it. Put Matt Nieto in, get some speed on that fourth line because it's just
It, the one thing. and the one thing too about this is, and Gentry made a point on Twitter saying I expect some lineup changes for Thursday. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing. I don't want to say a Barracuda shuttle, but I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing, you know, some lineup changes. Definitely Nieto coming in. I think if Paul Martin isn't 100%, I why not bring in DeMello and let
Dylan
him sit for it?
DeMello.
Why not?
I mean, I think
I think
you could have definitely put Demelo in tonight for Martin,
Yeah.
because Martin was noticeably a touch slower tonight, and he made some giveaways, and I know you don't want to break up the Burns pair, but I think that the play of Dylan and Schlemko can kind of make up for the fact that you've got to throw Demelo in there, and you give Paul Martin a night off. But I mean, I think the other thing that we got to really talk about, guys, though, and lady, of course, is that the time on ice numbers for the forwards are all out of whack again. Thornton's playing 20 minutes, Couture's playing 21 minutes, and
Wow.
then you've got Wingles clocking in at 8 and Haley at 5. So you're really starting to see them ride the Stars again, and you're asking Joe Thornton and Logan Couture, who are operating on very limited rest because of World Cup and because of the extended run they made in the playoffs. You're asking them to do too much at the beginning of the season right now. I think they really need to play that third and fourth line. I'd like to see both of those lines get at least 10 minutes a game across
Yeah,
all of those
100%.
forwards.
100%. Especially Joe Thornton. Like, we all know Joe Thornton's old, and it's like, one of these days he's just gonna like fall over. I don't know, but I think we need to start playing the younger guys more and giving the older guys those days off that they need. Joe Thornton, Patrick Marleau, Joe Pavelski, even. Like, it's just, you need to start not giving them nights off, obviously, because they're a huge part of the
No,
lineup.
I think what you mean is like giving them practices because there's no way you're going to take them out of the lineup for games, though.
Yeah, no, of course. And I'm not saying they need to take them out of games because obviously they're Joe Thornton, Patrick Marleau, Joe Pavelski, but you also need to, I don't know, you need to start running all four lines again. And I've noticed that they're not really running all four lines like they were last year in the playoffs. So I
I
think it's
think
time to start that again.
I think that DeBoer defaults to running four lines when he feels like the team is going.
Hmm.
And when he feels like they're being a little sluggish, he reverts back to the Todd McCullough esque way of overburdening Couture and Thornton. I would have liked to have seen the deployments a little bit different in that second period, and I know Carl is kind of talking in the chat a little bit about, well, if they're losing, you got to play those guys more, but still, you can't have just a skew of 21 minutes to 5 minutes. That's just, it's not going to work. It's not sustainable, and this team needs to have some balance. And I mean, we've seen it in Thornton's play, and we've seen it in Couture's play. It would not surprise me if they are kind of tired and those face-off numbers are looking weak because of it.
Yeah, I agree. You know, give them some days off. We have, like I said, we have that big road trip coming up. So I'm praying that nobody, because when they start to get tired, it's like the guys start to go down more easily. So I'm just like praying that that doesn't start to happen because they are too tired.
Yeah, but you're going to need to. What you're going to do is you're going to need to give them time off for practice, which they've done, especially last season, and it helped them. But sometimes, like Carl just said, days off may kick some players off of their groove. I don't even think they're in much of a of a groove right now. The concern I have, and I think it's leading on to what you're suggesting, Nikki, is that a lot of these guys came from the World Cup. They weren't here ready for training camp, and I know I'm kind of like backing into I don't want to say an excuse of sorts, but you had Bodker who is still trying to gel with this team. You have Vlasic, Burns, Couture, Thornton. Um, you had all Donskoy. You had all those guys over at the World Cup, and then you have the guys back here who were all mixed up with players from the Barracuda to have the team, play on different lines during training camp because the main guys weren't here. And so I'm wondering if there's still a little bit of feeling each other out uh, at the moment, which it's too bad, really.
I think the other thing though, I mean, the Sharks. I think we all can agree, kind of, you could see them visibly kind of get stymied and frustrated in that
Right.
second period.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got to give credit to Arizona. 27 blocked
Absolutely.
shots. I mean, you saw two of their forwards go down tonight with injuries because of blocked shots. I mean, those kids. I mean, they gave it their all, and I mean uh, hats off to them because I mean, 27 shots is nothing to bat an eye about, and the face-offs I think were better for the Sharks this time around. I think they clocked in around 59%. But again, I think that when this team gets tired, they revert back to that point shot mentality, and that's why the blocks were so high tonight.
Let's be real here. I'm not trying to block a Brent Burns slap shot.
Yeah, I you'd have to pay me serious money for that one.
Oh yeah, 100. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
And
it's not even a slapper; it's his wrister because I think he's got more on his wrister than his slapper. Although that
I'm not gonna get in front of Brent Burns at all because I'm just scared of what's gonna be coming at me.
right.
and Sleepy Mofo kind of chiming in. He's like, the team hasn't played a full month yet. No Debbie Downers just yet. No,
No,
I don't think so. But I think what we're trying to do is provide a little bit of background as to what's kind of going on with the team and
right.
why, the response. I mean, look, I mean, 6-4 is a pretty good record right now. But there are definitely, I mean, there were a few games that they could have taken, and this team could have been 8-2 if they, if they had a little bit different shot selection, and I think that the deployments would have been a little bit different. So,
Yeah, I
you
don't
know,
think we're being Debbie Downers. I think we're just providing insight as to what they maybe could have done better. That's how I see it. I don't see it
Yeah,
as being Debbie Downers, especially what, like 3 weeks into the season. I'm not being a Debbie Downer. I'm just saying things could have been different and they could have had different results.
exactly. And then the Ducks Kings game goes final. Ducks win 4-0.
Kill each other.
They're now in possession of third place, kicking Vancouver back into the wild card, and Vancouver shouldn't even be sniffing the wild card, in my opinion. But so now your Pacific Division standings stack up as, oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying this. Edmonton Oilers leading the division with 7-2-1 record, good for 15 points. San
yeah.
Jose is in second place with a 6-4 record, good for 12 points. And Anaheim has kind of come out of their swoon a little bit and is now
Uh-huh.
4-4-2 with 10 points. So I think we're starting to see the correction a little bit. I think Edmonton is going to be a challenger this year. I don't
Yeah.
think
Damn
that they're going to.
Oilers.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go away, but I think you're going to see a little bit more of a correction from them coming up pretty soon.
There's an agitatorness to it, and let's be real here. I think it was Sharks, Vancouver, Arizona for up until about January, and then we definitely see that correction. So American Thanksgiving is usually the time when you start seeing a lot of like, okay, this is kind of the 16 teams that are in it, and then there's like maybe like 6 to 8 teams, the other 6 to 8 teams altogether in the league that are contenders. So you're definitely going to see kind of starting to get an idea of who's going to be in there. And right now, if Connor McDavid can lead the Oilers like he's been doing, they can go. Now, do I think they're a cup contender? Maybe not yet, but you just never know.
See, the thing with Edmonton for me is that they have so many skilled forwards, but their goaltending is shaky. You know, Cam Talbot, he's all right, but I
Yeah,
don't
he's
think
played well
he's
this year.
I don't think he's able to lead them through the playoffs to the cup. That's just me though.
I also I think that blue line is a little suspect. I think that they've
Hmm.
definitely done a lot to shore it up, but I still think that they're missing a piece on the blue line. And the bottom three forwards I think on that team also could use a little shake up as well, a little beef up. But yeah, I mean I think Edmonton will challenge this year for a wild card spot. It wouldn't surprise me if they get in. And they prove some people wrong this year. I think the team to me that's kind of stood out as being like where the heck have they been is Nashville. I mean, you look at Nashville right now through 9 games, they're 3-5-1. I mean, this was a team that a lot of people were picking as a cup contender, and
Yep.
they're not even sniffing a playoff spot yet.
Well, you
So
know what's gonna bug me is that I'm a huge PK Subban fan. I love PK. I loved him on the Habs. And now that he is with Nashville, I feel like and because they are doing so bad, I feel like everybody's gonna blame it on PK. Oh well, PK, he's a locker room cancer and all this stuff. It's like, come on. One guy is not gonna take your team from here all the way down to here. It's just not gonna happen. And don't put that on PK because we all see what happens when PK is put under pressure and it's not good.
Right, and the other thing too is to kind of piggyback on it. First off, on PK, there was already been some rumblings that Mike Fisher had already started to talk to management about PK in the locker room, which I can't see. I can't see in that. And then getting back to Cam Talbot, you know, the guy has been playing phenomenal hockey. I mean, 7-2. I mean, not bad for 2.14 goals against. 932 save percentage in 10 starts is pretty phenomenal early on. But he had a rough year, and let's be real, Edmonton's better. Edmonton's better, but yeah, they still need some defense uh, on to maybe go further than they already are.
yeah, and I think just kind of just to put a bow on it, I think what we're all saying is it's really early in the season still, and there's going to be some corrections. I think we all said, I think it does take some time for people to gel, and I don't expect this to stay like this. I mean, I don't expect Minnesota to be this good, and and I certainly don't expect Nashville to be this bad. And oh my God, Vancouver! I mean that's going to be a really big correction that's going to come up for them, and I
Yeah.
see them and Arizona kind of going neck and neck for who's getting first overall this year.
Yeah.
Um,
Although we made them look like a playoff team tonight. I mean, and again, hats off to Arizona. Um, those kids are going to be something else, and all they're doing is getting some chemistry going right now, and just watch out. So, a good friend of mine, Rhonda at Center Ice, sweetie, um, you got a team that you'll be proud of in a couple of years.
I mean I don't I mean I think what we'll start to see with this team is probably next year. I think that they will start to be more in the mix for a wild card spot, and then I think in
Yeah,
2 years is when they'll really start to challenge. I think they've got a really good crop of young forwards that are coming up. The defense, which they've been known for being kind of a defense factory there. I mean, I think is the weakness now. I think the
yeah.
defense and the goaltending are going to be what's going to do Arizona in. So I think that they've got to kind of reestablish their defensive prospect pool, and I think their goalie prospect pool, because both of those are pretty thin right now.
And like I said in our previous show, Arizona could be a dark horse if they can get great goaltending. They got some nice goaltending tonight. If they can keep that going, they could sneak in,
Oh,
just
not
like
not
Edmonton.
not this year though. I
They
wouldn't.
they would they battle for a playoff spot, but I can't see them making it. But I think they can hang in there if they get good goaltending.
I mean, we're right now we're talking about them. I mean, they're 3-6.
Right, but I'm saying, look what they did tonight. I mean, it wasn't exactly the greatest game on earth, but they had one period um, where they just were gangbusters, got great goaltending from Deming, and there you go.
I
And we
mean,
all know a hot goalie in a playoff round can steal you a Western Conference or an Eastern Conference title.
Matt Murray. Looking at you, Matt Murray.
I mean, see, there you go.
I mean, look, I mean, we've got they've only played 9 games, and
Sure.
how much of tonight was a symptom of the Sharks not showing up in the second versus them playing their asses off? I mean, I think that the Sharks could have played better and really made them look like boys because they made them look like boys in the first period. So I don't know how much of it was the Sharks just kind of losing it versus versus Arizona being good. I think that, like I said, I think that the flashes of the pieces are there,
Well,
and they've got a really good nucleus coming up. But I just don't see them challenging this year. I think it's too far removed from the realm of possibility because you just look at their underlying stats. I mean, they're the worst defense in the league by far, and they're one of the worst offensives in the league. I mean, it's not even close the amount of goals for and goals against. So that to me, the goals for, goals against is the long term indicator of success, and then that team is. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really buying it. They've given up 35 goals. I mean, Calgary has given up 40, but just I just
hey,
Oh.
I mean, that's AJ's dark horse pick. I mean, but again, it's early. I
very
mean,
early.
we're still going. There's still a lot to be made from here till April, which is why we always tease if the season ended today.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
I mean, who saw the New York Rangers scoring 40 goals? I mean, really? I mean, we all kind of looked at that offense and said, okay, yeah, that's kind of on its last legs or whatever, and they just shot out of a cannon. So, you know, and you've got New Jersey who's got 10 points. They're 4-2-2, and they've only scored 18 goals. I mean, that's
right?
ridiculous. So it's the wild and wacky beginning of the season. We always see it. And I think like Eric was saying, once we come into Thanksgiving, I think we'll really see kind of the cream rise to the top, and we'll see the bottom feeders kind of go back to where they are.
Mm-hmm. But
Uh,
nonetheless, kudos to the Desert Dogs
yeah,
for coming up with a victory here tonight because, after all, the Desert Dogs played a heck of a game.
They sure did.
Back to you, Landy. No. Since we're kind of already on it, let's go around the league really quick. Rangers, you talked about them just now. 5-0 over the St. Louis Blues. Just on a torrid pace right now. In overtime, Nemo blew it. The
No,
Dallas,
really?
stop me if you've seen that one before.
Yeah, exactly.
Dallas had a lead with 30 seconds left, and Columbus tied it late and won in overtime, 3-2 over Dallas. Bobrovsky with a nice game there. In Boston or in Florida, no Patrice Bergeron, I believe, tonight, but they still beat in South Florida the Panthers 2-1 in overtime. I believe it was Kyle Turris got that game winner to beat Drew Weber's Carolina Hurricanes 2-1. The game that you saw right before, which actually thankfully ended on a little early, thank you. Tampa Bay 6, Islanders 1. Obviously, their PVC piping didn't help them out tonight. The game that we've been talking about because it's the game that should have been on MSN or on NBCSN beforehand, not Lightning and Islanders. It was the first matchup between Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews. Toronto wins it 3-2. I saw this game earlier tonight. Nassim Kadri out muscling McDavid like a few seconds into overtime.
Before,
Can we
yeah,
just talk about how
yeah,
great that was for a
yeah.
second?
So I think it was kind of interesting because Greg Wyshynski was asking who's gonna be like the pest to Sidney Crosby. What is it? Not Kreider. One of the other Rangers. It'll come to me, but they were saying who's going to be the pest to McDavid, and Nazem Kadri stepped up tonight, and he was all in McDavid's grill, and McDavid he wanted to slash back. It was pretty funny.
That was great. I saw that replay and I was like, there is a God and he loves me because that was great. I mean, I like Connor McDavid, but I love Austin Matthews. So whenever Connor McDavid kind of gets not shown up, but somebody just kind of pushes the kid back in his place, I'm like, there we go.
Well, that's one of those welcome to the NHL type of situations. By the way, Ben Smith, former Shark who was picked up on waivers
The
last
great
week.
Ben Smith.
The great Ben Smith, the guy that we traded.
Sharks legend.
Yes, that we traded Andrew Desjardins for with the goal tonight as well.
Dubinsky was what I was thinking. The Sidney Crosby to Brandon Dubinsky. Yeah, it was who's going to be that counterpart?
Yeah.
And Kotry, man, he was just chasing
right
all over the ice.
Right. Continuing on, Buffalo 2, Minnesota 1. Obviously, Dubnik had a little bit of a hiccup. Nonetheless, Minnesota's streak comes to an end there. Washington beats Winnipeg in Manitoba 3-2.
With just 30 seconds left. Did you see that? Jay Beagle scored to give the Caps the lead with just 30 seconds left.
Craziness. Yeah, the Jets were hanging in their game, and that's the other thing too. Even though I know AJ's probably going in the chat right now, it's like, oh, it's one of his INN teams that he loves. Winnipeg's gonna be good eventually, but not quite yet. I think
eventually.
I think Arizona's higher up than Winnipeg is right now.
Winnipeg needs a few more draft picks.
Oh my God, Winnipeg needs to solve their Jacob Trouba problem before anything else.
That's true too.
Well, and see, Patrick Laine, not my favorite person in the world. Let me tell you why. I like that he's good, but I don't like when somebody knows they're good and just like walks around the NHL basically like this. That's what he's doing to everybody, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You are a rookie. You need to you're at a 10. You need to bring yourself down to like a 2 because you're pissing me off.
see, but that's the kind of rock and roll that I miss in this game. Like that's the kind of Alex Ovechkin kind of BS that I miss. Like I miss old Ovi. When he would date the supermodels and he'd like come in, come in with his glasses on and his shirt off, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a rock star." I miss
like
that.
He belonged on Jersey Shore.
Exactly. I miss Jersey Shore Ovi. Okay.
Jersey
Get
Shore.
crazy, get loud, get crazy, get loud.
I loved that show. I'm not even gonna lie.
Okay, moving on before we break out our inner DJ Pauly. What?
And one more thing. If you guys did not see it today, Curtis Pashelka put out a little article about how Ovechkin grew up a Sharks fan.
Yes. I saw that. Ovi, if you're listening, come to us.
Hey, I've got a certain number 12 who might want to go to Washington.
Yeah, ain't happening.
Yeah, I was going to say, Washington's not that dumb. I mean, the election, whatever,
Forsberg for Martin Erat? I mean, I don't know.
Maybe they are that stupid.
But like AJ says in the chat, you need guys like Laine that aren't enough villains in the NHL. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that. We have Pronger, we have Fleury that were just pain in the asses. Dustin Brown for a certain part, but you have
Scott Stevens.
You have those
Eric
players.
Lindros. The
that
back in
that
the good old days.
mhm, that you are, yeah, like M Hackle just said right now in the chat. Steve I, they're
Yeah.
guys that they'll play their butts off. That'll get under your skin and will work wonders. They're guys that you wish you had on your team, but you hate going up against. So, moving onward, Chicago 5, Calgary 1. No big surprise there. Chicago's starting to get on a roll now. Maybe Nashville's finding their way. They won tonight 5-1 over the Colorado Avalanche. And then, of course, you have Anaheim being LA 4-0. LA has lost, has not scored a goal in 3 straight games, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a stat I'm going to get tattooed on me. I like that stat. That's a good one.
Well, I kind of like the stat that we've had on the Orchard Supply. Did you know the other night? The whole where is it, AJ? Oh, yeah, here we go. This was my favorite stat. Prior to tonight, how many career points has Joe Thornton registered in games played on Saturday?
Nice. Nice.
I'm just putting that out there. That's just one of those crazy stats that you have to go what the fuck about.
And for people that are kind of talking about Timu Solani, you know what? I have no problem with him and his time for the fans. I mean, that guy would stay out till like, if they got in at 3 o'clock in the morning and there was a line of fans trying to get his autograph, he would be there till like 4 o'clock in the morning signing autographs. I mean, the guy's he's a
Good
good.
guy, Timu Solani.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Timu is and will always be one of the great ambassadors to the game in my opinion. So now
In
Lucic on the other hand.
No,
Don't
Tamu
even get me
is
started on Lucic. Don't even get me started.
Tamu is probably hands down probably the most personable players that uh, I've ever met in person. I thought he was really nice all around. I remember him doing donuts in the at the then named Logitech Ice parking lot for his fans. So I mean that was like one duck when they won the cup. It's like, all right, he won the cup. All right, I guess I can kind of be happy for him, but at the same time, it's like you fucking missed that open net in the 0-2 Western semifinals. You could have had a
Yeah.
cup sooner.
Yeah.
So
And Sleepy Mofo says, "What's a shark? Always a shark, unless you're Ed Belfour."
Mister, oh, I love it here. Reminds me of Chicago Stadium. I will do whatever it takes to sign a contract, and then at 11:59 on June
But
30th, he signs with the Dallas Stars.
him and Soupy.
Fuck Campbell.
Yeah.
Hope he had fun taking that penalty in the fourth overtime against Dallas, but I'm still not bitter.
Still not salty.
Not salty. We said this show would be extra salty, so. Um, so coming up, we have the Calgary Flames. Yes, folks, if you still haven't gotten over the loss of the Black Armor jersey, fret not. They're wearing them again on Thursday
Ugh.
against the Calgary Flames.
Do we have a count? Do we have a count of Black Armor appearances this year?
Yeah, there's going to be a total of 12. This is number 3.
Are they
Okay.
gonna wear the throwback teals at all, or no?
No.
No, the throwback teals are not going to happen this year or next year. If you
That
listen
is
to,
the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I
I'm
am
sorry.
right with you. If you listen to
Those jerseys they're gorgeous. I have one in my closet and I stare at it all the time. Like,
I
why
have,
would you not promote that jersey? Whatever. It's okay.
I know. None,
Yeah, and we can't bemoan John Tortora because he has given us the pleasure of interviewing him. So
John Tortora, wear the teal jerseys.
yeah, I think he's heard. I think
yes,
he's heard
he's
it.
got,
Well,
he's
he
got,
needs to hear it from me again. I'm gonna write a strongly worded letter and be like, John, in big capital letters,
Yeah, I'm gonna write
wear
you.
the teal jerseys, and that's it.
Yeah, strongly worded.
Strongly worded letter.
which if you didn't listen to the Pucknologist podcast special, you're welcome, AJ, about all this and everything that was happening for the Sharks and SAP Center and the Barracuda. It's a very great idea to listen to that, and you'll make AJ Strong a very happy man. Uh, Speaking of happy men, the Sharks need to get on their thing, and perfect time for Calgary to come in. Um, what do you think about going against Calgary on Thursday night? Do you think they will be it'll be a trap game because they know what's coming on Saturday, or is this a setup for for an intimidation factor for what's going to happen on Saturday, Nikki?
Oh, good Lord. I just want to win because I feel like if you win, so I want to win on Thursday because going into such a huge game that is Saturday against the Pittsburgh Penguins at home, I think it's good to go in with a win so you're feeling kind of confident. You don't want to go in with it, losing to freaking Calgary. No offense, Calgary, but you kind of suck. Okay? I don't you it's just kind of like a downer. Like you go into that game kind of not upset from that game, but you want to go into it with a good mentality, and so that's why I just kind of want to like annihilate Calgary like 12-0. I know that's not possible, but just something just something to get the Sharks kind of ready for Pittsburgh because they're going to have that game last week still on their minds. It's just
Yeah.
kind of, and especially because we were leading for a long period in that game and to lose it like the way we did, not to bring up old stuff, but it just kind of sucks. So you kind of want to go into it with that good mentality, like, you know what, we can give them a run for their money. So that's what I think. It's what I'd like to see happen, but I'm not always right,
Yeah.
contrary to popular belief.
What? That never happens. Landy, what are
I
you
know, right?
expecting?
Well, I mean, you saw the fourth worst goals against average team tonight. Arizona, and the Sharks only could muster 2 goals, and then they're going to be playing the worst goals against team in Calgary,
It's a
and
trap.
they've given up 40 goals. So, uh, what do I want? I want the Sharks to blow them out like 6-0.
Right.
I just
See, I said 12. You're thinking low, my friend. You gotta bring it up higher.
all right.
She's got lofty expectations.
Fuck it. Let's have a rooster trick and have a hurdle 4 goal game
There
all in
we go.
one. You know, and then have the tank yelling, "We want 10" or "We want
There we go.
12." At the end, those are the best kind of games. But no, in all seriousness, though, I think they really need. I mean, the offense needs to click, and this is going to be a good game for them to.
Click.
Yes, this will be a good game for them to really get their mojo back, and really, it's like a warm up game, and they really need to dominate Calgary.
Absolutely. I think that they need to have a dominant victory. I think it's a game where they need to show up and frickin' destroy a team and work on little things that have been bothering this team. Like, for example, Logan Couture, again, 22% in the faceoff circle. The Sharks did look pretty good on their power play, even though they went over 2. They definitely generated a lot of shots and definitely got more on the net. But stuff like that definitely needs to be taken to the next level on Thursday night. And it'd be a much needed confidence boost going up against Pittsburgh on Saturday night. With that being said, before we give final thoughts and check the Twitter machine and the YouTube chat, it is time for Slushy's question.
Are we really gonna do this?
We're really going to do this because it's actually pretty decent. It's a pretty decent question that I think he's got on here. Um, so thinking caps on for both of you. All right. The question is, which San Jose Sharks rookie had the most points in their first full season in the NHL? Is it A. Logan Couture, B. Jonathan Chichu, or C. Pat Falloon?
Pat. I want to go Pat Falloon.
I kind of do too.
You're both going with Pat Falloon, and we're just going to just kill the dramatic music because it didn't take that long for you to get the right answer.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That's what I thought.
But Falloon had 59 points in 91-92. Obviously, the first year in the Sharks' history. He had 25 goals and 34 assists in that. So, Slush, there's the question that you've been wanting. And with that, uh, it, with that being said, let's go around here. And what do you say, Nikki, your final thoughts about tonight and going forward to Thursday?
Well, about tonight, I would have liked to see a win, obviously,
Obviously.
especially against a weaker
That's the Sharks.
Arizona team.
Right.
You know, it was a winnable game, and there were some mistakes that were made. Paul Martin, I'm looking at you. Um, but overall, it was an okay effort. I would have liked to see more effort. I blame it on the off day yesterday. PDB, I'm looking at you. Um, Going into Calgary, I think they really just need to kill it on Thursday night. I really think they just need to absolutely bring it to Calgary, especially going into Saturday's game. I want to annihilate the Pittsburgh Penguins. I want to score so many goals on them that their fans in attendance start crying. I want to see actual tears falling down their face. So, Sharks, if you're listening, annihilate. Just kill them. Just take them and just shake them and just kill them. Final thoughts. I'm very violent. I'm a hockey fan. I'm very violent.
Wow. So this might be recorded and might be used against her in a court of law if she ever gets
if somebody ever
accused of something.
Shows up dead.
Not that it has her name or her Twitter handle on it or anything. Wow. Landy, your thoughts? And I actually have one question I want to ask the chat and you guys before we go. Landy, your final thoughts about tonight and going into tomorrow.
Final thoughts about tonight. I mean, it was disappointing. It was a team that they should have beat. I'm a little concerned about the scoring. That top line kind of being in a drought is a little concerning for me. But I'd like to see them click on against Calgary. I think that they have the ability to do that. And then I want to see Angry Joe. I want to see Angry Joe's first appearance against the Penguins.
Yeah,
Angry Joe is good Joe.
Well, I personally I'd like to see him have a lovely Angry Joe against Calgary. I mean, let's start there. We don't want this to be a trap game, and then all of a sudden, I'm not sure what the heck's going on. I got a message just now from a couple people who work in the Sharks Foundation. Johnny, who is my girlfriend's cousin, and along with Jenny Johnson, who kind of runs the show over at the Sharks Foundation. They're kind of asking about some fundraising ideas and what they want to see. Of course, first and foremost, Johnny, if you're watching, first and foremost, you need to get those mystery pucks coming again because
Amen. I love me some mystery pucks. I will
what Nikki said.
Drop a few $100 on those.
Yeah. Or, well,
I mean, not a few hundred, sure. but still. I love me some mystery pucks, and I always have very good luck. I've only ever pulled one bad one. Marty Havlat, if anybody wants it, it's yours.
Gentry, if you're paying attention, let Austin know. Gentry's friend bought a... he was going to his first game, and he bought a Martin Havlat jersey on clearance for $50, and suddenly that's become his favorite player. Um, Landy, do you have any suggestions or ideas?
I've always been a real fan of the silent auctions. Bringing those back for some Barracuda gear, I think would be pretty awesome. Because I think there's going to be a lot of kids that people are going to want to grab signed jerseys from and stuff. Um, I think the other thing that they could do is like a raffle, as far as like spending an hour with a team member, or
Yeah,
or getting like inside access and stuff to the team, and things like that. I think are things that the Sharks Foundation could definitely leverage on as well.
I agree. I agree. I would pay 100. I would, I would pay a lot to spend some time with Tommy Wingles. We all know this. We all know this. This is not new
Um,
information. I'm just
Nikki,
saying, Sharks Foundation, let me know.
Nikki, you're okay. First off, doesn't he have a girlfriend?
He's married, but that's besides the point.
Okay, all right. Well, at least you're.
Details,
I,
minor
I, I know
details.
I know you're of legal age. It's called sampling with the sharks.
No,
Or
but do you know? Okay, I know, I know
I opened a
sampling
can of
with
worms.
the
That's not a
Sharks.
great idea.
I know sampling with the Sharks is for a good cause. Like, obviously, all the money goes to a good cause, but sampling with the Sharks is actually really expensive. And I'm not huge on wine. So maybe if we were drinking margaritas at El Guapo's in downtown Campbell with the Sharks,
I, I
that I could get in on.
I'm not sure the sharks would allow for something like that to happen.
Well, just shut down El Guapo's for like an hour and
Oh
we'll
my
just
god.
throw back some margaritas. I'll bring chips.
Okay, I'm
Sharkaritas.
glad. Yeah, it has to be sharkaritas.
Sharkaritas,
As much
yes.
as I would recommend that, but let's be serious here for a sec. If there's something that in particular, like I have the suggestion, and Johnny, I know if you're watching, you hear this. I would like something of the equivalent to what the Steelers have for a terrible towel, and I would love for an all teal towel and benefit that for the Sharks Foundation. I would think it would sell through the roof.
Oh yeah. You could
Or
sell those things for like $4, $4 or $5, and people would.
Heck, even $10.
okay, I just had a really good thought. How about
Hmm.
a heritage authentic jersey with a Sharks Foundation patch? I think you could sell those for quite a bit of money.
Or you have some exclusive stuff that benefits the Sharks Foundation, and maybe you get around the whole little fanatics thing at the Sharks store.
Yeah.
We are really smart, you guys. We're
So
like super smart.
if
Sharks
you have,
Foundation, hire us.
that's right. That's what we're talking about. All right, with that, let's get out of here. For Nikki, for Landy, um, let me see the couch really quick here. Yeah, it could be better. All right, maybe that's what was off tonight.
Yeah, I've got another load that's coming up soon. So and no, come on, no jokes on that one, please. I know I let that one out there, but still,
Did you have Mexican food tonight, Landy? Come on.
no, I did not.
Oh
Hey,
man.
Landy has lost 20 pounds in a month and a half.
Yes, you
Okay.
have. Great for you, good sir. Good for you. With that, for Nikki, for Landy, our whole crew, definitely make sure you subscribe down below. Make sure you hit up Pucknology.net for all your latest Sharks stuff. Don't forget, on Thursday, early Thursday morning or in the afternoon, you will have another episode with Rocket, AJ, and Hockey Jerk on the Pucknologist, your weekly wrap of all things Sharks hockey. If you don't like it, you are a Kings fan. Until then, for our entire crew, keep it real, keep it tight, keep it real tight.
Oh, come on with the loads joke. Come on.
Dude, you left that one wide open, and boy, does it stink. Good night,
Five
everyone.
Oh
hole.
my